Sure, I mean, absolutely. So,
hey, what's going on? So let's get into a little bit.
So we're going to get into Harmony of Despair.
Harmony of Despair.
Which came out 2010. It's actually had all the DLC. It's run its course. It's
how much? The base game is how much?
The base game, I believe, it depends on sales, but I believe right now it's $10, maybe $15. If you get on PS3, though, you get a whole bunch of extra content, including split-screen co-op, which I think this game needed to begin with.
Wow, yeah.
Very awesome. But this will just be a testament, so you guys can see exactly how much I've actually played this game. It clocks how much time you have on all of your characters. And so that's in hours. I've got...
Wow, you like Jonathan Morris there.
20 hours, 30 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, 20 on Fuma.
Oh, you got Fuma.
Yeah, I have everything. I literally have all of the content. Exactly, yeah, DTW, you know, nobody's really seen this game very much. I think a lot of people wrote it off.
I played the demo, and I will say I wrote it off. I will fully admit that I wrote it off.
Well,
and I would like to be re-educated, Sean.
Well, if you love Monster Hunter,
love Monster Hunter.
If you love loot games, if you're a Diablo fan, you like games where you're getting all sorts of cool loot. This is your game, man, and even more so, this game is a celebration of Castlevania. It really is, especially the Metroidvanias, but not just the Metroidvanias, which I will show you. So we're going to go ahead and pick a character now. Because I don't
30 hours, holy Metroid.
I have 30 minutes on Alucard, so I hope nobody wants me to play.
What's the deal? Why are you not playing Alucard?
Same with Soma. Castlevania for me is the whip guys. I'm all about whip users. Shinoa's got a really cool combat system, and I'll get into that. Actually, all the characters in this game utilize the mechanics that they did in their games. So, like, Shinoa has her whole glyph system. So you actually pull the spells off of people. You'll also get, like with Soma, the souls, all the soul system is there. So we're going to go ahead and let you guys pick which character I'm going to play as.
Who are we going to play as?
We can do, of all the characters that I think I'm fairly confident with, we've got Jonathan, Richter I'm pretty good with,
of course.
Shinoa,
yeah,
and Yoko and Charlotte aren't that great. Maria I'm pretty good with, Simon Velma, and Getsufuma. So just shout out
who you want to see.
Who you want to see.
We got a Richter.
Solid Snake.
Solid Snake. I don't think so. What is this left hand corner?
That's all the characters people that are playing right now. This game actually supports 6-player co-op online. It scales the difficulty, so that's pretty cool.
Have you ever gotten a 6-player game?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean...
Are people still playing this?
Yeah, I have no doubt in my mind that we could fill this pretty easily.
Wow.
I was very impressed with the community. It was very active, and they were dedicated. I mean, they're the kind of guys who were scoping out all the code, source code, when patches would come out, pulling out stuff. So, where's Fuma from? Yeah, that's interesting.
Good question, yes.
Getsufuma is actually a part of a series that was made by the Castlevania team in between Castlevania. It was basically Castlevania in feudal Japan, but with like demons, very into the lore of those classic Japanese demons and folklore stories.
But only came out on the Famicom.
Yes, yeah. It's funny, though. You actually have probably played a Getsufuma game and you didn't even know it. The original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the NES is actually almost verbatim. All the engine, all the combat mechanics, the system is exactly a Getsufuma game. As a matter of fact, Leonardo in the game is literally just a sprite rip, like a sprite hack of Getsufuma.
Really?
Yeah. And that is something most people. Wow. I went on Wiki and didn't even see that, but I've gone through. I've done deep analysis into both the games, and you could see right away with Getsufuma. He has that weird sword thing where it almost looks like he's just whirlwinding his sword. Pretty interesting. Huh. But yeah, Getsufuma Den is actually the name of the game.
And that's the first TMNT, the very first one by Ultra Games.
Yes.
That came out. It was very different, of course, from the
the very first one. And you'll see when I get into it, like especially with Fuma, how he controls, especially if you really know that game and know the wonkiness of how the characters attack, how they walk.
Hey, what's going on, my fellow Dark Souls compadre?
Oh yeah.
Yes, that's one of the fine people who is co-op with me in Dark Souls.
Part of your Game Grief series.
Yes, the Game Grief series, which is Sundays at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time here on Twitch.tv. Yeah. Anyway, back to Castlevania.
Okay, so we've been at this screen for long enough.
We've had some people. We had that. Some people. We had a Richter.
We got
suggestion.
Richter sounds fine. We got a Richter suggestion.
Okay.
We'll play Richter.
Let's do Richter.
Okay, so you get to choose your style of Richter.
Oh.
We'll go Tradish.
Let's go.
Tradish. You can even actually, there's button codes to put in to make Japanese voices and everything too, which is kind of neat. So you select your character, and then the next thing you're going to want to do is go in and change your equipment. You have lots of different stuff here too. A whole bunch of stats. The whip users in this game all kind of use the same mechanic, and that mechanic is as you level up your sub-weapons, which you'll see here, as you level up your sub-weapons, that will level up your vampire killer, your whip. And you have a whole bunch of different sub-weapons that you can get. This Richter is definitely one of the smaller scale. Like if you take, for instance, Jonathan, we'll just go to Jonathan real quick, and look at his sub-weapons. You will see there is just a disgusting amount, a whole bunch of sub-weapons. And all of them have their own level scale, and they actually change. The attacks will change, the sprites change as you level them up. So there's a lot of reason to go and invest into them. But most people will usually just pick a couple and invest in them. That's not all, though.
That's not all. Let's order now, and you'll get a special edition Richter Belmont chaps.
Well, you may remember from Dracula X, Rondo of Blood, or the Symphony of the Night version that Richter had a whole bunch of moves that he actually did.
Right, yeah.
You actually will find those as drops. All the different button combination moves, you find them as drops. So there's a lot of treasures for every single character. And all the bosses and just the regular mobs will actually drop gear unique to you, specific for you. So what Richter uses, Maria's not going to use, or Shanoa's not going to use. So that's kind of interesting. Like, let's take for Shanoa, for instance. She's going to have a whole different set of gear, and she's going to be more spec'd for Constitution, Intelligence.
So now, the question, as you're fighting through as, say, somebody who's Richter and someone Shanoa, could you find a weapon as Richter that Shanoa could use?
Yes, there are some things that cross over, especially like some of the major gear, the 5-star, most rare gear that you can find. However, see, with her, you're going to get different glyphs for your attacks, for your swords and weapons and stuff. You're also going to get your spells, which also level up themselves and gain a whole bunch of unique abilities. And they're going to be all the cool stuff that you remember from the games. So Richter is what people want, so Richter's what people get. But you get kind of an idea of how the system works. So it's very unique for every character, and there's a lot of reason to pour into every single character. So we're going to go ahead and start from the beginning. There are 11 chapters. Oh, yeah, many times. I mean, all the hours that put into this. I mean, each of these stages, as you can see, are averaging around 2.5 minutes, 10 minutes, 5, usually around 5 to 7 minutes is the average mean time.
So each of the levels is very short, though.
Yes. The goal of these levels is to really find the fastest paths you can to get the most out of your time, because the awesome gear is going to come from the bosses. You know what I mean? So it's almost like time attack. So we're going to start from the beginning, but we're going to go ahead and play on the harder difficulty. Because usually you're going to want to play at this point once you're scaled at this point. So we'll go ahead and go in there. Let me double check that I've got the gear that I want. A lot of times I'm usually have my grinding gear on. Gives me bonuses. Yeah, so you have full equipment, and the equipment will actually react based off of sets, so you can get full sets, like the retro sets. You have all classic, like 8-bit Simon Belmont clothes. Fuma's got his own set, stuff like that.
Wow. So, I mean, and you equip this like almost like an RPG before you go in.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, this is all, I mean, there are places where you can change your equipment in the middle of the levels, but you wouldn't want to. The most you'd want to do is re-equip like an item. So, we're good, so we're going to go ahead and start in the most interesting book ever written.
I like it. It's short, but also succinct.
It's true.
It really does kind of get to the point. I mean, loading, I think, is probably the idea. So there's the big bad guy.
Well, Aridesu, it's not that you just get new sprites. I mean, you're actually, the attacks are changing. The whole patterns, like your dagger for instance, you'll gain triples, quadruples. Your axes may have different spins to them. Your everything is going to change quite a bit based off of leveling up. So one of the things you're going to see right away that's pretty cool is that you can change your camera view from actually playable to not at all. But this gives you the kind of the capability to sort of step back and see where everybody else is and what they're doing.
Is there tearing the record, or does the game tear?
No, there's no tearing. It's probably what you're seeing from the cast. The game, as you can see, Brian, is very smooth.
Yes, it's very smooth. Yeah, if you're getting tearing, please let us know. I want that Castlevania game on the Wii, the fighting game.
Actually, I'm a big fan of the fighting game. I thought it was a lot of fun. It's not too bad. I mean, it's not amazing. It's just okay.
But I thought it was such a missed opportunity for what they could have done on the Wii.
So one of the cool things with Richter that makes him a lot different than the other Belmonts is that his right move is actually his roll and kick, which you can combo together really well. Like you can do an attack and then do the roll and kick, and you'll bounce off of them, and then that leaves you open to go ahead and attack again. It's pretty cool. And that actually does the most damage out of all his moves. So it's pretty cool. And you got all all the iconic things that you're used to him doing, but most of these things are unlocked and upgradable. So everything that you expect from a Castlevania game is all here. Exploration,
stabbing with a whip. Stabbing with a whip. I don't see any stabbing with a whip.
Stabbing with a whip. So that attack was actually from the boss, who is up there in that corner.
How do they shoot through all of that?
He just blows through the walls. Every level has kind of unique stuff like that.
Wow.
So these chests, you said that can you pick up gear for other people? Well, anytime a chest is open, everybody on the map, wherever they are, will get whatever is in there. So you can
it just automatically appears for them.
It just appears for them, which is cool.
That's
because
nice.
that allows you to split up and sort of divide and conquer the dungeons. There's also neat little Easter eggs like this one. You come in here and you actually drop the classic bell upgrade. Give you bonuses there.
All of Richter's iconic moves except for his patented item crash ability.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
No item crash?
You don't get item crash.
Oh, but you get red licorice.
Yeah, you do get red licorice.
Well, that's great.
You don't need to go.
Where Trevor stabs through the other dude with his whip.
Oh, yeah. I think he's talking about in Judgment, perhaps.
Oh.
There's also lots of levers and stuff that'll fully change like the dynamics of the levels. There's little stuff.
Oh, what are the duckies doing there?
Shinoa also has use of her Magnus ability that allows her to ricochet off of the points, so she actually gets unique abilities that will help her get through the stages. Julius can actually hang from those as well. See if we can actually get out of here. Oh.
Come on. There you go.
This is a very basic stage out of all of them. And you'll see they get incredibly involved. I don't want to spoil one of them, which is really awesome.
Are you going to show us?
I will show it.
Court Jester's online, finally. They've been waiting for Court Jester. They've been like, all day. Where's this Court Jester? I have to tell my brother to get this so we can play it. Well, this is what now Sean's been. I haven't bought this, and I've been needing to, but dude, you gotta play this. You gotta check this out. So this is my first time, I think, besides the demo I downloaded.
Sure, and this is the stage you get in the demo.
Okay. Those not familiar with it, Item Crash is a superpowered version of the classic Item Crash. Love this game so much, and I bought it for 360 and PS3.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, no, this game is worth all the money. I mean, as you've seen, the value I've put into it. You get the first 6 stages with your download. You also get, I believe, maybe 5 characters, and then they added another 4, and then they added stages up to 11, so you got another 5.
So now, why do you have a countdown?
A countdown. That's actually your time to get through the stage. The penalty in this game, when you die, you can actually revive other people, but you'll actually get penalties to your countdown, your timer. So you want to try and get through the stages as fast as you can.
What happens if the time goes to 0?
Then you lose. But the thing about it is it was something that people wrote off right away without really looking at the mechanics. They're saying, it's a Castlevania game, you're timed in. Like, how is that any fun? The thing is that the time limit only really serves as a hindrance if you're just getting wiped. Your whole party is getting wiped over and over again. You would have time to fully explore this entire area and get quite a bit of gameplay out of in 30 minutes time in one stage. You know, it's really not that big of a deal. So as you can see, I took one path, but there was a whole bunch of other area that I could have gone through. There's also options or capabilities to like let people through with switches through other paths.
And have them bring them
Yeah,
up.
and so they'll come through a different way, which is pretty interesting.
So you're saying if you got it for the PS3 and 360, the PS3 is the way to go.
The PS3 version is the superior version, solely because right out the door when you buy it, you're gonna get a couple stages free. I think you get stage 7, maybe stage 8 free. You also get the split screen co-op, which, as you can see right now, would be useful. I mean, if Brian wanted to play it.
Would be nice, yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, jump bounce. Oh.
So now we go into this next phase. You may remember this from his actual fight, and you got to come down and deal with everybody. Now, keep in mind, my character is incredibly high level,
Right.
so I shouldn't be doing this as
You
fast.
should
as
be wrecking this guy.
There's also interesting things in the bosses themselves. Like this boss, he has those bracers on his feet, and what you can learn through play is that you can actually destroy these bracers. Well, I killed him too fast, but you can destroy the bracers, which will actually show a weak point, and then you have the capabilities of doing more damage. So enemies do have.
I can't remember why I didn't buy this after playing the demo. 360 doesn't have split screen. Is it
does
on
not.
PC?
It is not on PC,
Not
and the
on PC.
360 version does not have it split screen. The PS3 version actually
I know
came out.
why doesn't the 360 have split screen?
Well, it's funny you say that. I think it
funny
has
you say
a
that.
lot to do with the same problem that the Silent Hill HD collection had and what Fez had, and that is just it costs way too much money to put out patches for the for 360 games. I mean, I've heard numbers upwards of $10,000 to release a patch.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely terrible. So this game actually had gotten its final patch completely done by the time the PS3 version got announced. I think PS3 owners were pretty much expecting it to never come out. So since it was just coming out, they were able to put in those features that they wouldn't have otherwise, including that split screen feature. And as far as I know, that is the only major difference.
JK says you get Stage 7, offline multiplayer, and Julius Yoko
Yep.
for the free on the PS3 version.
That makes, I'm pretty sure that's correct, yeah. So that was the first stage. That's a stage you get at the demo. Richter is not a base character. Actually, he's a premium character. The characters you get with launch, I know you get Soma, Alucard, Jonathan, Shanoa, and Charlotte, I believe, are the characters you start with. Everybody else is kind of extra. So we took that one on with Richter. Let's try something different. Let's go to Shanoa. Shanoa's pretty
All the
awesome.
different skills, you're saying.
Yes, and she is beastly. I mean, it's disgusting. And a lot of the top speedrunners actually use Shanoa. You may say, how do I know that? Well, actually, the game records every one of your battles, like your travels through the levels, and you can actually watch them straight off the Xbox 360. So the top person, the number one person on the leaderboards, you can just pull up their video and watch their entire game.
Now, is it like, because this is what happened on Pac-Man Championship Edition, which I had this problem. Somehow, some people upload demos or upload videos from their gameplay that don't show you how they did it. They're just literally them sitting there doing something stupidly.
I did not really encounter that, especially during its heyday. Not saying it doesn't happen now,
Right.
but needless to say, you're still going to be able to.
There's
check
still
it
going to
out.
be some people that you can see how they did it. And how
Exactly,
they got it.
exactly. Now, all the gear in this game has rarity drops. So, they want me to see. Well, we'll go to Maria and Fuma next. I want to show some of the core characters.
Simon isn't a starting character.
No, and it's funny though
it
because
is.
Simon is 8-bit, and he's actually smaller than everybody else, and he's pretty funny. So he's a funny character. I'll show you. So we're going to try a different level. We'll go ahead and skip the second stage, which is the Puppet Master from
Okay.
Portrait of Ruin. And he has some interesting, he actually use portals, like the portraits. You jump in the portraits and warp all over the map. So they all have really unique stuff. End of Chaos is actually the final boss of Aria of Sorrow. All the souls combined together. No,
Right.
sorry, Dawn of Sorrow.
Okay.
Dawn of Sorrow. Those games are very similar. But when all the souls came together and you had the giant skeleton, and it's actually like almost like a World of Warcraft raid boss, where you actually have everybody needs to know their roles. There's only key points on his body you can hurt, and there's a giant axe at the top of the screen, and people can wait up there and hit the button at the right time, and it'll swing down and knock the boss completely over, blasting him through the stage, allowing you to take him down and get better access to some of his weak points. So there's some really interesting things there. We're going to go ahead.
Talbane, hey, gentlemen, I've been summoned again. Well, sir, summon away. Summon away, you brilliant man. And yes, this guy knows every detail about every game. Guys, and this is what I'll say, a little side detail. This is why Shawn is a part of Substance TV. Because, and I'll say this as someone who knows a lot about gaming, he knows crap that I don't know. That's why he came onto this site, because he was able to educate me. And I don't say that lightly, because this guy knows his stuff. And the great thing is he's able to, not only does he enjoy these games and says, well, this is just, he appreciates them and he knows these details and he can, this is why when Shawn tells me, Brian, you should check out Castlevania, I actually give it credence and I don't go, because this guy not only has a passion for it, but he also knows, the shiznit, baby.
Am I even still on the camera? My head's all big. I'm just like floated off into the air. No, I appreciate it. Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. A little hand job on the gas.
So we're going to show the final stage of the story, I guess, where you're going in and taking down Dracula. And this is the Dracula you're going to see is the Dracula from Symphony of the Night.
The end of Symphony of the Night or the beginning?
The end of Symphony of the Night. All forms.
Okay.
So we're going to go ahead and take this stage on. I think, does she have her potion equipped? You don't want to go into a stage without a potion. She's not.
Wait, you haven't played any Castlevania? No. I have played Castlevania and I love Castlevania. It's this game that I haven't actually given a lot of fair chance, as I probably should have. I've got all the, I've got, of course, all the NES, the SNES. Castlevania Symphony of the Night is probably one of my favorite games of all time. I got the DS ones. And of course, back in the day, before we had the ability to play games like Dracula X on the Wii or on the PSP, I got a chance to play on the PC Engine. So I'm down with the Castlevania, but it's just, I haven't done this.
Okay, so I went into the shop. I had to buy some more potions before I go in because, you're going to get hit in a lot of this. And these, on hard mode, they do some serious damage. So we're going to go ahead. We've equipped some Chaos Rings to increase my MP speed. Mm-hmm. These are uber rare weapons, or uber rare items. Most of these actually are at this point. This one lets me move, increases my running speed. You also get interesting stat bonuses from food items. You'll get stuff like caviar or meat, like you find in a wall or whatever, and they'll actually give you momentary stat bonuses. So there's reason to choose different healing items too, because they're not just going to heal you, they're going to give you buffs. So there's a lot of in-depth gameplay mechanics in this game. So we're going to go ahead and jump into this stage.
Simply T, how you doing? Welcome, sir. Welcome to the cast. Glad to have you on board. Some people tend to refer to Harmony of Despair as Castlevania HD to differentiate it from Harmony of Dissonance, the Game Boy Advance game.
It's true, yeah. I might have even done it already, but I'll sometimes interchange those names because of just how close they are. So we are in the castle, and this is kind of an interesting one because it sort of represents the whole castle,
Right.
So every area is sort of represented.
The library.
So these are the weapons I like to use the most. Every one of these attacks has different skills or different elements to it, so like dark or like blunt and stuff like that. And every enemy in the game has resistances to certain things. So by having multiple on each, you'll see they do different amounts of damage. And this is kind of a good way to cover my bases. So some of the spells I have on me. So I've got the sweet globe that
right.
Oh my gosh, Malachi throws. You've got the Nova Skeleton beam. These, which are the death attack, man, they bounce everywhere. You get in a small room with those, and you just clean everything out. And then the spell that I'm leveling up right now, which is my lightning spell. So you can actually seek people out, do multiple damage. You'll see really quick that she is just a beast. Especially like that Nova Skeleton ability, I can cast that and it'll continue to attack while I attack more. So
you just double up.
Yeah.
It's like a double step Oreo cast. You get to fight Shmooze and get a...
You don't get Shmooze, but the Chrysogrim is in it.
Is it still beastly?
It is pretty bad. The Masamune is the good one in this one, though, for
it
Solar.
is?
Yeah. And they actually have even done plus versions of some of the gear that you can get. Like
I like the fact that when you would buy that chest, you didn't actually have to pick up the item. It actually just by virtue of opening the chest,
yep.
It just came to you.
Yeah, you'll learn real quick. I'm trying to go slow through these levels so I can sort of show you.
Oh, she looks based. Fun fact, stage 6 gets established Dracula's castle from Ecclesia HQ from Order of Ecclesia.
Yep.
See.
Most of this game actually pulls its assets from the Metroidvanias, the GBA and DS.
Right.
That's where nearly all the assets have come from. Like this here table was actually in Portrait of Ruin when you fight Brower's daughters, the two.
Right.
The two. So you can see right there, his spell was actually available for me to steal. Some of the bosses, including the headless guy, you can fight them as just regular enemies in the stage. So more than just the one boss per level, you're getting kind of sub-bosses.
Little bitty bosses.
And you haven't seen anything yet. I've got one stage that is just an absolute treat to any diehard Castlevania fan.
Well, because I've been wanting to do a the idea of this sounded really cool, a multiplayer Castlevania game. But when I play, and I'll say this, I'll just kind of look at it. You know, as you said, there's made quick judgments. And I don't know if I was playing that thing, but I looked at this and it looked like to me, okay, they took a bunch of assets from the Castlevania DS game and put it together.
That's just a treasure chest. However, there's a purple chest, which is the rarest, but unfortunately, there's nothing in this level that I could get that I need.
Are there any? What is the rare item that you don't have, Shawn? What is the one?
I still got a couple, especially anything for Soma or Alucard, because I don't really play them. So I don't really have any of those. Any of there here because
fun fact, contrary to what you may think, there is a story for Harmony of Despair. It's about as effective as the story to the original Pac-Man or Rampage.
Yeah, it's very basic.
They just had to figure out a way to like, how do we get all these people from all these Castlevania games together?
Tiramisu. Gotta get your tiramisu.
Gotta get tiramisu. I mean, you know, on the hard day of battling demons, get spawned from hell,
get
I gotta really taste the tiramisu on because this is pretty good. Yeah, the library levels is very reminiscent. Awesome. We got it. Let's see here. Oh, I remember now. I was going to get it, but John Buffington said it sucked so many times that I assume they were right. We really usually don't trust those guys. And you know what? And I'm going to say this to Shawn's credit, and this is something that I'm even learning to be better at. I thought I was good at it, but it's play every game for yourself.
Yep.
Really, just
absolutely
play every game for yourself. Not only do I not listen to reviews, I mean, I just play games to see if I like it or not. It's a perfect example of a game like God Hand, which, for those people who know, Eric and I are good friends. He didn't enjoy God Hand, and I bought it just on a whim to try it out, and I absolutely loved it. I don't know how many hours I made, but I absolutely loved it. But the point of it is, yeah, you just have to try it for yourself at some point, whether it's a rental or whether it's, like I'm doing here at Shawn's house. He's got the game.
And the funny thing is what I tend to find is history tells a different story for a lot of games. You take like the Mega Man Battle Network series, and a lot of game reviewers actually panned the game Mega Man Battle Network. And now, like
a solid game.
Sure, and they even will say that now. Like a lot of developers, they're like, the Battle Network series, it used to be good. And it's like, wait a minute, no, you never really actually felt that way. But now that like popular opinion says that, now you say that.
Right.
We're in a world right now where it's very hard and challenging to just be yourself, and like games for what they are, they're just entertainment.
Yes, we got God Hand. God power make my pip hand strong. God Hand is one of those games that fundamentally it is flawed. If you just look at it from the mechanics and the fundamental standpoint, it is a flawed game. And I'll admit that up front, but it's still an amazing game. Really fun. Whoa, come on, man. That's the expert here. What's going on?
I'm trying to do a lot of the little mechanics, the backdash and stuff like that.
You got this guy. Oh, yeah.
No. I didn't bring the best move to get through this guy.
She's got a better move?
Yeah, because he has that shield, so everything stops it. So there's other moves that you want to bring in. She has an icicle move that does it.
There you go. Dead. Bravo.
D-E-D.
Dead. Oh.
Come on over here, buddy. Come on, don't be shy.
Are you going to bounce off?
I'd like to, if you would stop being a jerk.
Bravo.
And some caviar.
Caviar, beautiful. Let's see here. I remember that one boss in Godhand where you kicked him in the nuts. It would just make it sound like you were kicking metal. Yeah, beautiful. Bing! It's a wonderful game. Yeah, DGW. People give new games crap because they hate what's new and it doesn't follow a formula. Jakey asks, doesn't Shanoa have Beast Howard's attacks in this game?
Review again.
Does she?
Well, she has some interesting, moves, I guess.
I stay in my house with your brother.
So here's one of the little Easter eggs. Every stage has like a hidden item you can collect, because there is a score system that I haven't even gotten into yet. But if you get up on top of here and taunt, what's that coming over across the sky? Oh, it's Konami Man!
Oh, Konami Man! Look at that.
You can also collect other classic characters like the Vic Viper, the Twin Bee ship. You can also collect Goemon.
This long slumber has carried
I don't know. I don't have a healing item. I don't know how this is going to go. So we'll see.
I just want to see you. I wish you'd have his old voice actor.
It's brought here by humans.
It is not by mine.
And once again, given flesh.
Given flesh.
Mankind only needs a savior such as you.
I'm
You steal
fine.
men's souls and make them your slave.
But enough. How about you?
Oh, that little one was just like a little dinking him on the head.
Oh yeah, you can just sit here.
So System Link, 360 split screen PS3.
Yeah.
No, PS3 is offline multiplayer, not split screen.
Oh well.
Perhaps the same could be said of all religions.
I never, you know what, that's a funny thing, I will say, commenting on that. Everybody hates on Symphony of the Night's voice acting.
Oh, it's awesome. It's part of the experience.
I personally liked it. I never found it like terribly, horribly bad. I think it's because when you look at like Hammer films and that kind of stuff, to me it just fits with that shtick, you know? To me it's perfect.
Well, it's a horror movie. They never have good writing.
Well, to me it just fits. And I never played that with gosh, voice acting movie.
All right. So
Okay.
final stage.
gaze upon my
The
daughter.
camera does zoom out. You can zoom in and out independently. You can do
It
it.
really is up to your personal preference. I like getting all up close and personal.
So weird playing this boss in this area instead of it being in that big.
So that was actually a charm ability, and it'll only affect the female characters because he's Dracula. I am not going to do this. Got to do Megiddo. Oh no. He also has Dark Side of the Moon attack, and it's funny. These are like a lot of the ways that they're described when you're playing online. You have to use the terminology. He's getting ready to fire this. Everybody's got to get ready, sort of thing.
So he scales. So when you're doing 6 players, he is just.
Yeah, a lot harder. I am going to cheese him because I want.
Oh. Things like separate screens would be preferable. Criminal Appeals one has prevented me from being bugged by bad voice acting. Yeah. I mean, if you like Resident Evil, if you like any of those games, you kind of have to like bad voice acting. You're forced to. Growing up with the Sega CD has given me a greater appreciation for video game voice acting.
Went down. Went down. It's okay.
The expert himself.
Oh, it's fine.
It's fine. I'm not bothered by it.
And that's the cool thing about this game too, is it's not such a bad thing, and you just hop right back in. And I'll be in a room full of 6 pros, and you'll still go down. Granted, I haven't played this game in quite a while, but I wouldn't use it as an excuse. So now we're gonna get into some of the bonus stages. This one's pretty awesome. This is definitely a Symphony of the Night stage through and through. And the character we shall use.
Who was the next one? Who are people wanting?
We had a lot of Maria people, some Fuma people. Let's head in with Maria.
Yeah. Let's save Fuma.
Let me at him.
Make sure I've got everything I want.
It's a lot better than it was 20 years ago, voice acting. JK says, most annoying move to avoid in this stage is Dracula's demonic Megiddo on hard mode.
Yeah, Megiddo pretty much is a one-hit. That's what you kind of just sort of hide in the corner and expect.
So what does it do?
It's just it's his Megiddo move. It's a big dome, Basically, think like an Akira, like the big dome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's had it in several games, but it's just Megiddo, demonic Megiddo, however you know it. But
Hakuna Matata.
yeah.
What a wonderful phrase.
All right.
Okay, DTW, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for joining us. We appreciate you. And by the way, follow DTW. He's a good man, and check him out on his YouTube channel. You can find him under DTW Productions as well.
Is this better than Resident Evil 6? I understand Resident Evil 6 is the worst game of all time. It is. On a scale of 1 to 10, they created a new number for Resident Evil 6.
It was so bad.
So we've got old Maria. She's got her little birds, and she also uses the classic symbols. You got the turtle, the cat, the dragon. I believe they're Chinese symbols, but I could be wrong. And we are actually in the underground area for Symphony of the Night, and who's that in that corner? It's Legion. Good old squishy pants
Good old Legion. He's quite a fella. There you go, DTW Shawn on YouTube. Watch my show, currently in production, Turnabout, Wanderer. I got footage from my time at Tokyo Game Show. Yes, and I did get a chance to watch that. He got the Tokyo Game Show,
which is awesome.
When we get to Tokyo Game Show, that'll be soon.
The next one.
The next Tokyo Game Show we're going to. Well, you heard it, guys. Shawn said we're going to the next Tokyo Game Show.
I like this move that she's got. She sings the Castlevania song. Little bloody tears. One thing also I'd like to talk about with this game is the soundtrack, which is awesome because the additional stages that they give you, they typically don't just give you a single song. Like the Castlevania 1 stage, they actually give you the entire Castlevania 1 soundtrack that you can then apply to any stages you want.
So how do you apply it? Is there
there's an option, and you can say, during this stage I want this, or even more so, during this boss I would like this song to play. So you can really individualize your experience. And it's a celebration of Castlevania, This is kind of Konami's Mega Man universe. I understand Mega Man universe didn't come out, but you get the idea.
Right. If this was the idea behind it was to take everything about a franchise and kind of sum it all into one game and try to, it's like a little love letter.
And I think it is a fantastic and incredibly competent Castlevania.
So you say, would this be kind of like if we're going to look at the new Castlevania games as a new franchise, okay? If we see what Mercury Stream has done with that franchise and we call it Castlevania New, is this kind of like the swan song for Castlevania of old?
Of the classic Castlevania? Sure, yeah. And I don't think they're gone by any means.
That's a good question. Now that we're seeing Mercury Stream not only do the next Castlevania next gen systems, but the one on 3DS, where's Igarashi? Where's the rest of Konami, the classic?
Well, I think that this move, I think that they understand that this still has its fan base and everything, but the Japanese developers not really knowing how to adapt to next gen gaming have really sort of clung to this idea that all they need is like a Western developer. Get some sort of Western developer to make our games, and it's going to be what people want, which is definitely not the case.
Right. I see. That's why I think it's a perfect example of what Konami's done wrong with Castlevania and right with Metal Gear, which is so funny. Here they've taken a game like Metal Gear and said, we have no idea how to make it into third-person action.
Which is funny, too, because Metal Gear is almost completely inspired by Western developed sort of things.
Well, and you look at like Escape from New York, the ideals behind Snake and Plissken and all that. But I mean, just the fact that they decided, hey, what are we going to do to make this game awesome? Let's give it to a developer who knows third-person action games. And that's where, that's the problem, is I think it goes both ways. We have people that underestimate Japanese developers and Western developers and vice versa. But if you just look at who's the best developer for the game, instead of, well, it's just a Japanese, it's kind of silly if you're going to make, let's just say, you're going to make a MMO based on Metal Gear. Well, what, are you going to just hire some, I wouldn't hire Treasure to do an MMO. Hey, Treasure's great. Do they know anything about MMOs? No, not at all. So, the idea, I think, has kind of become a little bit silly that we have these.
Let people stick to what they know.
Yeah, let people stick to what they know. And that's why I'm so happy about the fact that Platinum Games is doing it in Metal Gear, because they know third person.
Well, needless to say, I think that Castlevania of old still has its place. I mean, it still will. And I don't think that we'll see another one like console really. And even more so, maybe the next Metroidvania sort of Castlevania game or
Okay, dude, I want to treasure MMO. Well, you know what? I would like this personally. I'd love to see one. I don't want to see what they would do. The irony of Japanese games with heavy Western themes is how often it rarely works vice versa.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I would have to agree there.
Jade Empire would be my immediate example of that.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on the new Castlevania games? Of course, the new one coming.
Lords of Shadow, I'm generally not impressed with. I don't think that it does anything really necessary. I think it's just average. I don't really care for it, but I wouldn't say that it's bad by any means. The new DS one looks like a lot of fun. My only big problem with it is it's really focused on combos. Like you move, your whip doesn't do a whole lot of damage.
The lava does not look as good as the PlayStation version.
I don't know, maybe.
Because the PlayStation one kind of like moved around all wavy.
That was, I think, the background. Really, it was really just kind of a
Background?
filter that they had over the whole area to kind of give off heat.
Huh.
But anywho, yeah, the DS one looks fun. I'll probably pick it up.
Yes, online, player versus player, mischief makers. Make it happen.
Oh my God, yes!
That would be hot.
You're just shaking the crap out of each
Just
other.
everybody shake.
And it's got to be on the Wii, with the Wii U, with the tablets. Everybody's just going like this.
Castlevania is all about easy to learn, hard to master.
Sure. The thing that I have a problem with is because the whip does so little damage, I've seen him taking on skeletons, doing 3-4 hits before they go down. Seems kind of silly to me. It's just a lot of effort for little reward, you know. I like a game where you, like most Castlevania games, your whip does a lot of damage, but it punishes you when you miss. Your attacks punish you greatly when you miss. Your hearts, I mean, even your good attacks cost so much of your hearts. You really carefully time all of your attacks. And so with this new one, where you're just like, you know, it's whatever, you know, you're just flying at it and flipping all across the screen. I'm a little cautious about it, but just like the, you know, my testament to gaming is, you know, don't knock it till you try it.
Well, that's why I think the difference between, say, Castlevania going from 2D to 3D, I think Lamented Innocence is a far superior 3D game.
I actually don't. I have absolutely no beef with either of the PS2 games. I think both of them are just fun.
Yeah, see, that's why I thought both of those were really great 3D games. I think they did a great job. The music was superb. I felt it played good. I felt, like you said, it still had that classic Castlevania mentality of you were punished if you missed moves. You felt like you had to very much plan and telegraph what enemies were doing. And the new ones, I don't think it did that well.
Lament of Innocence was also cool because it did have non-linear paths. So you could actually, while the levels themselves were pretty linear, you didn't have to go through the stages in the same order.
Anybody remember Sudeki's tagline? Stupid ads. I don't remember their tagline. Every whip-wielding character in Harvard or Despair have their own advantage to him.
It's true.
Yes, there are two. There is Lament of Innocence and Curse of Dark.
Yep. Curse of Dark. Lament of Innocence actually chronicles the origin story.
Which I thought, see, that's the other thing that bothered me about the new Castlevania games. Lament of Innocence covered the origin story. And they're like, well, we're going to be even more origin.
No, this isn't that. That's kind of a misnomer, actually.
Well,
it's not that it's in the same canon. It's actually sort of an alternate universe.
I guess you could say. But the point is they see the funny thing is, Lament of Innocence did the whole main character turns into Dracula. Because that was the whole deal about Lament of Innocence.
Well,
your best friend,
your best friend
into Dracula. But he's the main character. He turns into. Whereas, but see, that makes sense. See, now I'm getting my game confused. Lord of Shadow, yeah, they didn't do that. It was you that turned into Dracula. Oh, guys, no, that doesn't. To me, that doesn't work well.
I missed it when Castlevania games was just sad thing of music. Music turned.
Exactly, a sad thing of music. Instead, it's
stanza of frowns.
Instead, it's Lord of, hey, this game was already created and done. Kind of looks like a Castlevania game. Let's just copy it and call it Castlevania.
It just didn't need to be a Castlevania game. I think it had a lot going for it.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't. It definitely wasn't for me. That's for sure.
I will totally understand. Oh, you just got burned.
I did. Ooh, burn.
OPS2, I misheard. I think Dark Souls is how to do Castlevania in 3D.
It's closer. It's closer to the more NES unforgiving Castlevania.
Yeah.
Where you get Medusa Head off of like a platform and you're supposed to learn something from that.
Yeah.
Just learn that you hate Medusa Heads. Or that awful gauntlet in Death Stage where you just have to deal with axe armor after axe armor. Definitely nothing to learn from that.
Oh, I see you just start trying to survive.
Yeah, it's so dark. You can tell I start to do poorly when I'm like trying to make a point or talking.
Is this thing gonna die?
Yeah. Well, it's Legion. It's kind of meant to be a sponge. And Maria, definitely not the damage dealer.
Yeah, the birds really don't instill fear into the hearts of bad guys. I mean, I would personally disagree that that's how to do Castlevania in 3D, even after my hours of experience. I would personally disagree.
I would but you know what? I completely understand what he's getting at.
Well, the cinemas he's getting at,
the similarities are very strong, very strong.
Lords of Shadow is something of a reboot, still waiting on the sequels on 3DS and PS3. Soma makes this boss into a cakewalk, provided you have the right Souls equipment at your disposal.
Well, Soma really makes the game into a cakewalk. He definitely commands the game pretty strongly.
Really?
Especially, you can equip the Succubus skill, which every time you hit, you're going to heal. And then you use some of the incredibly fast attacks, like do a bunch of damage. And then you can float in the air also. So you're floating there, attacking infinitely fast and healing at the same time. It's very uncommon for you to go into a match with 6 people and not have like 4 of them be Soma. So we're going to go ahead and check out some of the cool stages to wrap us up here.
Yes.
We'll use Sketchy for a moment. No, you know what? I'll die, because there's no way I can beat him with this, but we'll use Simon.
Classic.
And we are going to play one of the last 2 stages that were released. This one's called Origins.
Oh.
And it is awesome.
Okay, he's like, this is called Origins. And I'm just going to let you look at this.
Let me double check that I have what I want to equip.
So where does this rank for you as far as in Castlevania games?
Well, it's a whole different beast. It really is a whole different beast, but it is awesome. I mean, I love the crap out of this game. I think probably out of Castlevania games, I probably put the most time out of into this one. And yeah, it's just it's amazing, especially if you got a friend. I played through almost this entire game with a friend, and God, yeah, I mean, we put in every one of these hours was with somebody else.
Wow.
Very little single player. It's a great time.
Origins on hard? Are you insane?
I will lose. I will probably not even get halfway through. But we're going to play it traditional Castlevania style, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Okay.
This stage, when this came out, it was like, yeah, they know it. They totally get it. They absolutely get it. And
They knew what they were doing.
Oh, yeah. This stage is literally Castlevania 1. Every boss from Castlevania 1 is completely in here at the point in time in which you would fight them, culminating in the final fight with Dracula.
So if you had like a big old jumbo HD screen, you could play this sickly huge game.
Yeah, normally it should look a lot better for me. Actually, I should just be watching down on the bottom. I think it'll lag. It looks a lot better down there. We're playing on a lower definition because our cables, our box doesn't like my cables.
Yeah.
That will be remedied next time, but it's very small on my screen.
That's interesting. You fall in the water and you don't die.
Well, it's because I think it hurts you, but I actually had taken damage just recently. So we're about to come up on the first boss. Oh, Vampire Bat. Now this one you actually don't have to fight. You can just kind of leave.
Like, nah, I don't want to fight you today.
There's the hidden item for there, the crown.
It's funny the bat, but no.
Yeah, seriously, they'll follow you. You really can't get away from anything in this game. The best thing about Simon is everybody has an up ability. His is to just like look in the background. It's always funny to go up to bosses like while they're like taunting or something and just look at them. You're like, yep, there they are.
There they are. What is it? Does it do anything?
No, it's just fun. You can just be like, there's my butt.
Wow.
There's a lot of really
I
fun stuff
commend
like
those
that.
who can single-handedly beat the stage solo and hard.
I have done it in my like better time, like when I played this game a lot. Almost exclusively I played this game, but I haven't even touched this game in months. As probably is the same with you. And by you, I mean the person you're talking to.
Yes, that's JK. So who would you play on this stage? Someone?
Shinoa probably. I'm just anti-Soma just because I'm that way. I'm such a rebel.
You hate?
Well, I don't hate Soma. I like to play as the least popular characters, at least characters who are underrepresented, because then it adds diversity. Look, this bat is still after me. All right, this is it. We gotta end this. We need the GTFO, dude. I'm gonna die before we even get to the boss yet.
But you had Super Potion for 9,999 health.
Yeah, but I don't get another potion until I do Frankenstein.
There you go. Oh, looks like a terrible night. Good thing I'm not cursed yet. I played as Julius, but I've been using so much to acquire his and Alucard's equipment. So we have
I like Julius.
experts.
I like Julius quite a bit. Yeah. That's not the move I wanted. I thought that was. I think I have it as upbeat. So, unlike the vampire bat, you actually have to, for the rest of the bosses, you have to kill them to proceed. And they have their own gear they'll drop. They'll actually drop some of the 5-star items from the first 6 stages, which is awesome. So, some of those you just don't want to play those original stages for. This stage is a good grind stage. If it wasn't for the fact that typically will take you like 15 minutes to beat. This is one stage you probably could try pretty hard at and still not finish in time. So you may have seen these before. These are
what are those?
These are actually where you can go into your inventory. However, the game is still going on. I could still get hit. The timer's still going down. So it could be a bad thing, especially in the stage 3, the large one that I was telling you about with the huge boss.
Right.
Because he'll just come over and wreck your stuff right in the middle of it.
I've never played any games from the Castlevania series, but I do want to.
Well, let me tell you something.
What is the first game you recommend?
If you have an Xbox 360, this would be a great game to start with. You get a good feel for how all the characters work. You get to see a lot of the characters, a lot of the bosses from all the games. Granted, you won't necessarily appreciate a lot of the nods, but the thing about it is you sort of get a good feeling, an arcade, fast action feeling of how Castlevania works. Because from a gameplay mechanics side, it's definitely Castlevania. And it's even probably more faithful than the Metroidvanias in the sense that it's stage-based.
That's true.
You pretty much got one life go at it. So it is a great start.
My recommendation, first Castlevania game you should play, if you have a Wii and a Virtual Console, download Dracula X or Rebirth.
I love Rebirth.
Rebirth is a great game. Yes, Rebirth is a great game. But for classic Castlevania, Rebirth or Dracula, they're both great games. But I just have a soft spot in my heart for Dracula X personally.
Oh yeah. Rondo for sure. But I think that some of its like progressing is kind of antiquated at this point. It's kind of.
I just like the alternate path.
Sure, but a lot of them to somebody who hasn't played a lot of Castlevania, I could see them being kind of difficult to come by without an epic queue.
Well, yeah, that's what you go through on one path. Like the normal path that you would just see, you would say, oh, I know all these different paths. But
the reason why I shun that as well, though, is the fact that the game would be pretty short that way. Somebody could walk away from it feeling as though,
Yeah, but Rebirth's not exactly a huge game either.
No, I agree. That's why I'm recommending this one as the first one. You can put a lot of time into it.
Harmony Despair is a friendly introduction, I think.
I agree. That's sort of the idea that I'm going for. Look at that. I'm going to walk all the way back through because I need another healing item. That's okay.
See, well, this is not classic Castlevania.
But you know what, though? He doesn't have the nostalgia for it that you do.
Well,
you're trying to give somebody who doesn't have nostalgia your nostalgia. You can't
It's
give
not
that
my, it's not my nostalgia.
No, it
I'm trying
is.
to
You
give to
just
him.
stated.
What I'm trying to give to him is, from what I have played of all Castlevania games, is what I feel is the best representation of a classic Castlevania game.
Which is exactly what you think. However, a lot of the core mechanics from the classic Castlevanias are all represented here. And that's why I'm saying that this is a good representation.
I wouldn't say any of Soma's abilities, any of...
You don't have to play with those characters.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. You're saying it's a good feel to get all these characters. And just do Rebirth or Dracula X.
Well, we can. If you want another game on 360, then I would say Symphony of the Night. Rebirth or Dracula X would actually be some of the last titles I would recommend, because I think that they sort of are more of a treat to classic Castlevania fans, people who are incredibly into the series at this point.
Good game's a good game.
Oh, I agree.
No matter when you play it. You know, just try them all. Try them all. Get the demos for all of them, try them all.
Numbers are still stupid.
Let's see here. I do have a 360, but it's not hooked up online, only since I have online on my Wii and PS3.
This game is fully playable offline. The only time you would need online capability is just to snag some of that extra content. But Symphony of the Night is also completely offline.
DLC is $5 to $10. I think Tongue Despair is available on the PS3. So you do have PS3 and 360 on both of those. I mean, so you really, you got options of all. You can download a demo, of course, Rebirth and our friend Rondo on the Wii don't have downloadables, so you're kind of just stuck trusting it.
Or, for a very cheap price, I'm sure, you could stack a DS and play through a lot of the Metroidvanias, which are fantastic.
Yeah, they're
fantastic games. So,
and it would be interesting seeing him play those DS Metroidvania games without having a lot of Metroidvania games under his belt. Because that's what I think for a lot of people, and I remember especially friends of mine who played the DS once and played through Symphony of the Night and all the Metroidvanias, they would complain, well, another Metroidvania. So I think there was some bias towards those games.
But they've also played a lot of Metroidvanias.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. I think that would be an interesting, I would like to see a viewpoint of the DS games as someone who's not played a lot of Metroidvania. That's why I think his viewpoint would be interesting.
I think every year I have a void in my life that could be filled by Metroidvania. I think I could get a new Metroidvania. Oh, Jesus. I could get a new one every single year and be totally fine with that. There's that need in my life. There it is. Or a good Metroidvania.
Yeah, I like a good Metroidvania, but that's why I like Rebirth, because it was back to the classic style. Nice. Once I pick the game I've been saving for, which I'll push on the 30th, I'll definitely grab a Castlevania. Well, I think you won't be disappointed in any of these purchases. Any of these purchases are going to get you in the Castlevania door, and you see that you can out-Hadouken him?
Hadouken! This will be it. Alas, poor Soma. We knew you well. No! Why did I do that? I meant to throw my Bible.
Never slide when you're needing to throw your Bible. How many times have I told you this?
I know.
There's one thing you learn in church is throw your Bible, don't slide. I guess you could say you're a backslider. That's it. You backslide, you have the Bible, because that's like a term for
There's
people
just no way.
that have a, no appreciation.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
Poor
God.
Simon, only he
Oh,
takes
God.
Simon's weakness to fire.
Oh God.
7 health. One more hit, boys and girls, and he's dead.
There's some tasty meat in here.
Oh gosh.
This is too good.
Oh, the skeleton. Oh.
Back off my grill,
Wow. I am so impressed, sir.
bro. I don't even need that. Whatever's in there is not for me.
It's not for you.
Now comes the gauntlet. Oh no! I didn't even see him. I didn't even see him.
Now comes the gauntlet. What I've been trying to... That's it. Wow.
Oh jeez.
Bravo.
Well-
Bravo, sir.
I'll leave the next stage for you to when you play.
Okay.
Download it yourself. They do actually have a stage very similar to this one, that is the entire Getsu Fumiden game.
Oh.
You get to fight all the bosses from that, and actually has some incredibly ingenious gameplay mechanics. Very different from these. The bosses will actually level up depending on the order you fight them in, and the entire level is non-linear. Very awesome stage. So again, yep, Harmony of Despair, 360 PS3.
Yes.
Totally cooler than everybody else. Haters gonna hate. Yeah, I know, right?
Ball is gonna ball.
And that was just halfway through that stage.
Halfway through that stage.
Yeah, just humbled a little bit. So yeah, very awesome game.
Okay. Well, we have, let's see here. You luckily escaped with your life just to walk into a different enemy.
You literally just walk right into him. Imagine walking into your enemy, like not even attacking. Like he's walking down the street.
That's
He's like, "What up, man?"
That's
You
what I've
walk
always
into him.
got. I've never understood about games that mechanic from a technical standpoint. How do you walk into somebody and they hurt you? Like I've never seen two people going at a boxing match like, all right, let's do this. Touch.
You just explode.
Right. How does that work?
Just full on boosh.
Full on boosh to boosh.